Hello guys. So today why I want to talk about why the establishment GOP talking points will not help the GOP in future elections. So in years past, before Donald Trump, the Republican establishment, the establishment figures like John McCain and Mitt Romney, they always like to talk about the very same things. They like to talk about energy independence. We gotta conserve capitalism, fight against socialism. It's like they use the same old GOP establishment talking points, but John McCain and Mitt Romney, they both lost to Obama. Let's figure out reasons why. Um, so first of all, and I'm just saying this too, I believe that that conservative populism is the way to revive the GOP and to help the GOP win in elections in the future. And these are very crucial. So the GOP establishment talking points just keep getting repeated over and over again. Stuff like we gotta lower taxes, conserve the free markets, fighting socialism. And it's almost like it just doesn't work. And oftentimes we stick with those talking points as as conservative Republicans, but then we don't really just expound afterwards on we don't emphasize on other points, on the social issues marriage and abortion. And so I believe that why John McCain and Mitt Romney lost was because these were not solid candidates that the GOP establishment needed. Now, 2016 came around, and Donald Trump came on the scene. But the difference between Donald Trump and a lot of the GOP establishment was that, other than, he's not a politician, he's not politically correct, Donald Trump was speaking to the needs of the people. He was speaking directly to America's real issues. He wasn't another one of those establishment GOP politicians that keep repeating the same old talking point over and over and over and over again. It's yes, fiscal issues are important to an extent, but so are socially conservative issues. I want to see a conservative movement that wants to fight against abortion, that wants to fight against the degeneracy of the LGBTQ agenda and critical race theory. And basically, we gotta call out critical race theory for what it is. It is an anti-white doctrine that is so disruptive. It is an anti-white doctrine that makes white people hate themselves just because of their race. And it's what is the establishment GOP doing about actually conserving our country on a cultural level? We like to talk about, oh, let's be fiscally conservative, but then we don't. A lot of the Republican Party, they don't even want to touch on the social issues. They've become only too moderate, and therefore they feel they say stuff like, oh, if we just at least try and appeal to liberal voters, it's they just end up compromising our values. For example, ask any modern conservative today what they think conservatism means, and they'll tell you, almost any modern conservative these days, they'll tell you oh, conservatism is mainly about fighting for freedom, lesser government, lowering taxes, fighting against socialism, and then conserving the free market capitalist economy. I'm bro, that's libertarianism. That's not what conservatism is. That's libertarianism. And so I want to just make an emphasis again. I know I've touched a little bit upon this last week, but I just want to make an emphasis on what conservatism truly is. Conservatism is mainly about fighting for tradition. In other words, we as conservatives need to focus on fighting for the traditional values that made America great in the first place. So I mean, yes, freedom is important to an extent, but what's the most important is we gotta conserve our values. We gotta conserve the values that made America great in the first place. The traditional nuclear family, father, mother, and children, it's very important. That will hold the nation together. The family is the backbone of the nation. And we got to appeal to the needs of the people. We got to start tackling the real issues, and even just like tackle on, like, how is the home ownership rate doing? Like, why do we got to care so much about the GDP? It's like we're seeing an erosion of the nuclear family. We're seeing just the acceptance and the tolerance of the LGBTQ agenda being forced upon our children. And we're seeing that, like, children growing up in fatherless homes, or like homes with like only like a single parent each. It's very, very concerning. And we're seeing statistically more and more unborn babies being killed. But yeah, a lot of us conservative Republicans, we're not even doing anything. What are we actually doing against this abortion? I mean, sure, we passed some laws here and there, but it's like sometimes it's like the laws, they're very like only partial. They only partially stop abortion. Like I do agree though that the anti-abortion law that was passed in Texas, that's a good step in the right direction, but like I feel like we could go further. We need to go further to fight against degeneracy. We can't just merely focus on like the fiscal issues. We got to focus on the social issues. We got to remember, like, this country was founded upon Christianity, upon Christian values. And so it also even starts in the education system. Like, we as conservatives, is like, we not only have to like, fight in the political sphere, like we also got to pass down the conservative values to our children in our homes. And we got to help children learn the right things. We got to teach children the importance of what it truly means to conserve America, what it truly means to conserve our values. And the establishment GOP, the ones that we call the rhinos, and I would have to tell them, like, what are you doing? You call yourselves conservative Republicans, but yet you vote for like Democrats on a frequent basis. Like, I'm talking about people like Mitt Romney, for instance. Mitt Romney is he's very too moderate. Like, he is heavily compromised. People like Mitt Romney and Liz Cheney have become heavily compromised by the corrupt establishment system. And people like Mitt Romney, Liz Cheney, even Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, like the establishment left and right, they don't care about what the people need. They only care about their special interest and their mega donors. But they don't bother to care about, what are the real issues surrounding America today. And they don't even want to, they just want to like, vote against like the Make America Great Again an agenda, all because of this woman, Donald Trump. Like seriously, Donald Trump did way more for America than any of you guys did. Like, I will even say that to the establishment. I will even say that to establishment, whether it's Joe Biden, George Bush, Kamala Harris, Mitt Romney, AOC, Liz Cheney, all the corrupt politicians in the DC swamp. Like, Trump has done way more for America than you did. Because Donald Trump, he knows what the real issues are. He knows what the American people need. And the American people, they deserve real solutions. They don't deserve to hear the same old talking points They don't deserve to keep on hearing the same old empty promises only for you guys make, only for you guys to not fulfill them, only for you guys to go back on your promises. Like, seriously, this is madness. This is just insane to me, and it's outrageous. And so I want to say this is to my fellow brethren, like to my fellow like conservatives. Never be afraid to tackle on the issues that really matter to us a lot. We need to tackle abortion. Abortion definitely is a huge issue. We also got to tackle even the degeneracy of the LGBTQ agenda being forced upon our education system. Children being forced to learn sex ed. We need to tackle on this as well, because our children here in America, they don't deserve, like, they don't need to like learn all this stuff about sex education or whatever. Oh, and there's one more thing I forgot to mention on. We got to tackle the mass immigration. Why is mass immigration so bad? And I'm telling you this, I'm going to explain this just not only like from an economic standpoint, but also from a cultural standpoint. Mass immigration has led to just the decline of the American cultural values, in the sense that, like, you know, there are people that just think that America is just an idea. It's not just an idea. If we look throughout history, the United States of America is not just an idea. It is a nation of a people with common heritage, common faith, and a common culture. And we've seen what happened in Europe with the Syrian refugee crisis ravaging in different countries like Germany, France, and Sweden, where a lot of these so-called refugees are just making citizens of the European countries that they are staying in, like, they're making like the local citizens of Europe like less safe in their own home countries. They expect people to cater to them instead of them assimilating to the cultures of the countries they are in. Like, is this okay? Is this what we want for America? And we also need to tackle on the fact that Joe Biden has been negligent about the border crisis that's going on. Meanwhile, he's saying that us American citizens, we need to get vaccinated with the COVID shot in order to return to our daily lives, but that illegal immigrants, they can just all flood in, you know, they can get a pass. Is that really okay? Is it okay to just put, as the president of the United States, is it okay to be putting immigrants over your own citizens? No president should ever do that in America. Putting immigrants over American citizens is not conservative. And it doesn't align with American values. And the intense immigration from an economic standpoint, if we continue to allow mass immigration to happen, then our taxes are going to go up. It puts a heavy strain and a burden upon taxpayers. Like, I've only seen like a couple of Republican officials like trying to fight the border crisis, but like, where are they? What about a lot of these people? Where are these? What is most of the GOP doing to actually fight against the border crisis? Like, we need more Republicans like Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis, he literally just said, you know what? If all the illegal immigrants come in, like, if Biden loves them so much, I'm going to send them to Delaware. Like, we need more Republicans who are very patriotic, who really care about, who really truly care about conserving America as we know it, and to fight for the values that America stands on, because America is the greatest country in the world. And yeah, I know it looks like I'm saying so much, but it's true. And so, to conclude this video, I would like to say, to my fellow conservatives, to the American people, it's like, do not give up this country. Do not Not vote in people who give you promises only to later go back on them. We cannot afford to have politicians who constantly make empty promises of, wanting to conserve America and its values, only to just not fulfill what their mouths have spoken, only to not fulfill the promises that they made. And so, and I strongly believe in a moral America. I believe that, the moral compass of America, the common faith that we should have is that we are all united under God. That God should always be in the center of our government. And we believe that every American citizen is equal, and we believe that everyone here in America has the equal opportunity to pursue whatever they want, to work hard for what they believe in. Because we are a free country, we are a great country, and America is a God-fearing country. And I pray that we return to our values of worshiping God, working hard for our families, even just going after the opportunities that are given to us. And I believe that it's time for our government, the leaders that are put in place in our government, to put America and its people first once again. Thank you. God bless you all, and God bless America.